This is Movie Tone. Lionel Gamlin reporting. This is Sutter's Mill, El Dorado County, California, where gold was discovered in 1848, the start of the famous gold rush of '49. Now, descendants of the miners of those fabulous days reenact the scene, showing how the discovery panned out, and demonstrating the somewhat primitive methods used when the stampede was on and adventurers went swarming to the Golden West. A good way, you'll agree, of celebrating the centenary of the discovery of gold in California. The melodrama of life and death in the gold camps of 100 years ago is vividly portrayed. And I dare say the descendants of the 49ers also got a kick from drinking out of gold pans by way of celebration. These, by the way, are the sort of nuggets that caused the original gold rush. We don't see many of them nowadays.
On January 24, 1848, James Marshall discovered gold on the American River, 50 miles northeast of present-day Sacramento, when California was still an obscure Mexican territory. Under Shasta Lake, in Northern California, is an old copper mining town called Kennett. The area where it existed before the Shasta Dam was built is steeped in history. First, it was a Wintu Native American village. Then, in the Gold Rush era, it was known as Backbone. And finally, when the railroad arrived, it was named Kennett. And here the story begins. Before Kennett came into existence, flourished, and then became a ghost town before it was ultimately submerged under 400 feet of impounded water from Shasta Lake after the end of World War II. The story of the Siskiyou Trail is really the story of California's fur trade and American expansionism. It's a tale as riveting as the Gold Rush, only occurring decades earlier, starring trappers and traders known as mountain men. These rugged individuals, who were skilled in survival and revered as heroes, forged a road from north of Portland, Oregon, to San Francisco, California, that would eventually become one of the country's major interstate highways, stretching from Mexico to Canada.
In 1837, a young painter named Miller joined the annual trade caravan that went out from St. Louis to rendezvous in the Green River Valley of Wyoming. His sketches are an authentic picture of the way it was. The rendezvous was the trade fair of the Rockies, where a man could buy a wife for the cold winter ahead, or trade his beaver for powder and traps, where men who would hunt each other next week hunted buffalo together. In a few days, the profits of a year had vanished, lost in a moment's delight and a jug of Monongahela rye. The brigades began to move out for the fall hunt. Most would not be back. As one trapper recalled, of 116 men who went into the mountains for the first time, only 16 were alive at the end of the year.